Yes, guys! Welcome back to another review. Now, I have been gone for a while. A few things have changed since I've been gone. The boot wall has been readjusted. Eric Ten Hag has just been fired as of this morning. I shaved my head, got rid of all the blonde again. But one thing that has never changed is the GOAT boot. Now, I've always been under the opinion that there's one GOAT boot. I'm not talking Adidas Copa Mundial. I'm not talking Mizuno Morelia 2. I'm not talking any Nike Mercurial Vapor. I'm talking about the Adidas Predator Mania MIG edition. Now, let's get into it. This Predator is the MIG. It's made in Adidas factory in Scheinfeld, Germany. Apologies, I'm not German. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. But it came out in 3 colorways. They did the traditional OG black and red. They did the Japan blue. And they did red, which Bex wore. But what do you mean these didn't come out? Well, what's the third color then? Correction, they came out with an all-white pearl pair that I'll post here that I currently do not own. Now, Adidas Scheinfeld factory is where they make their best of the best boots. I think that's where the Copa Mundial has been made like its entire life. That's where some of the player boot pairs have been made. But this one specifically, Adidas wanted to pay homage to the greatest boot ever made. Predator Mania was worn by the likes of Zidane, Beckham, Raul, Alessandro Del Piero. So it's worn by some of the greatest players, midfielders, attacking midfielders of all time. One thing about this Predator that's different than past versions from either 2022, 2019, any of those, is that Adidas has switched to calf leather instead of kangaroo leather. It's just a trend that the market seems to be doing. Upon testing, I couldn't really tell a difference, so I don't think that that's a reason not to buy these. But the problem that I have is calf leather seems to be more readily available than kangaroo leather, so I don't understand why these came at such a premium for a lower tier leather. Now, yes, I know that it's annoying that it's not full-on kangaroo leather. We've been told for decades and decades that kangaroo is the best leather, and now every brand seems to have dropped it or changed. But I will say, in my playtime, I could notice the leather gets super soft as you play. You genuinely can't tell a difference. The rubberized Predator elements on this boot are so minimal, but they're so iconic. Now, I don't feel like this boot especially will give you any crazy amount of swerve or power or anything else that some other Predator models have essentially claimed to give you. But I do think that these are enough to just give you an extra little oomph on the ball. One cool feature that I think that has always been amazing on the Mania is what I like to call the pass pad before the LZs, but it is cut out and stitched into the shape of the Adidas logo. Again, when you take a ball back and forth from passing or receiving a ball, it's just a nice little cushion. It makes the ball have a little dampened sensation, so it's not too bad. The boots are featured on the current Predator Elite 24's outsole. One-piece plastic, good overall traction. The studs are longer. Even though they're not bladed and they're more of a bit of a triangular shape, they're comfortable. They can be used essentially on any ground. So let's get into some of the things that I don't like and that I think are annoying about this boot. The past Predator remakes, such as the 2022 Japan Blue, and I believe it was the 2022 OG colorway that was in the soft ground, those both used the split outsole from the Predator Mutator and Predator Freak. So I don't know why Adidas would adopt to not use that when that's stud plate, all that is absolutely loved. And it's fantastic on the remakes. You see my absolutes right here. I've used it before. I know that sole plate. It's fantastic. These stitch lines. Okay? So for being made in Adidas top factory, the fact that these lines and the stitching pattern don't line up really, really bothers me. Especially when you go back and you look at the pair from 2019, the red, and you look at those stitching, it's perfectly lined up. Everything looks good. So I think if you're going to say something's made in your best factory and you're using your best people to make it, I don't understand how we have sloppy kind of little mistakes right there. It's a nuance, but it's something that annoys me. Leather liner on the heel. It is a bit slick. I noticed that even when using grip socks, my heel could slip a little bit. Now, I have to caveat that at the same time saying, I wear my boots the Beckham way. So I don't use the last lace holes. I pull my tongue down lower, so I know that that's going to mess up my lockdown. But any other Pred I've used, such as the Absolute remakes, other Mania remakes, I haven't had that issue. Just other boots in general, I don't really have that issue. So I think if they would have used a suede instead, that would have really, really pushed the boot to another level. The final thing that I want to talk about in this boot is the sizing. Now, I went for my usual size 8 US, and the fit is interesting. Now, I measured the insole when I took it out. It's 26 centimeters, which is usual size 8 US, 7.5 UK. I've compared the insole to Predator Edges. I've compared it to my Predator Elites, and everything lines up the exact same. But when I wear the boots, they feel almost like an 8.5, almost too big. Now, so far in my playtests and using them, I haven't run into an issue. I haven't had any injuries to my feet either, like I did when I wore the EA Pulses in an 8.5. But I will say that with the toe box and as much room as it has, the boot can feel sloppy. So my suggestion is try them on if you can find them to try on. But you may want to go half a size down if you like your boots to be super snug, super close. Who do I think this boot is for? Honestly, this boot is for collectors first off. That's who is essentially it's made for. But I think that this boot is made for anyone and everyone. Okay? If you want to experience the best boot, in my opinion, of all time, this is it right here. This is the OG way. This is the best way. I wish Adidas would go back to using a leather upper just like everybody else, but I will have to admit that the 24 is pretty good. Okay, it's pretty good. So in conclusion, the Predator Mania MIG might be my go-to boots for the next foreseeable future. I don't know if I'm going to continue wearing the OG blacks or if I'm going to wear the Japan blues that Ricky sent me, but only time will tell. But as always, go down below, hit like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. What boots do you want to see? What do you think of the Predator Mania MIG? Do you have a pair? How do they fit? And as always, if you like what you've seen below and you want to see more, click right here to see more. Man, I'm so awkward at signing out.